Yeah, no, the fiscal stimulus is also a big is like a big point as well that's probably helped bolster. I believe this is like some of the largest deficits that we have run outside of wartime. So, that's also going to kind of be another a tailwind to help push kind of, I think, asset prices higher, as well as I do think that it helps unemployment as well. I mean, there's like a lot of people put out that graph, but kind of the relationship between the deficit and the unemployment rate, usually when the unemployment rate starts to weaken, it tends to coincide with times of recession, which tends to mean usually we run bigger deficits. But again, we're running huge deficits right now when the unemployment rate's at 4.2%. So I do think that that also helps kind of keep the economy relatively buoyant.
Well, I mean, I want to bring this to a close. Maybe just to finish off, you mentioned the AI build out and everything that's happening, and how a lot of the indices are very contingent and hinge on further AI momentum. And some people have been calling out, well, this might come to a kind of halt, and is under pressure, especially because of the open source models. I think just recently Kimi K3, the Chinese model, was released, and it's just very powerful. And a lot of people are now, okay, companies will be able, because they're open source, switch to these models. They don't have to incur the costs anymore that come with these more Americanized products. And that's why, a lot of what's being priced there is maybe not what will happen in the future. So, yeah, how do you think about this? Is this a real risk for equities, or just for some themes again? Because like I feel like semiconductors will still be needed, even though everyone will be using open source models. It's probably bad for the two names we don't want to mention here that everybody's using. But yeah, like, how do you think about this from here on out?
Yeah, it's hard because I think so much of the equity market at this point is kind of reliant on that. And I think even so, the credit market, like on my most recent Substack, I was kind of looking at hyperscalers, X Oracle and X SpaceX, because both of those are trading pretty wide to the rest of the kind of the like, let's say, hyperscaler curve. But because there's been so much supply that has been issued in terms of bonds as well for a lot of these companies, the hyperscaler index has underperformed investment grade by something like, I think now, because since I put out the article, it was like 40 basis points, and I think now it's like 56. So, I mean, a lot's kind of contingent on that. And I kind of think that the hopes and dreams that have kind of been um, sold to a lot of these companies about the power of AI are falling short of expectations. And we saw that recently with somebody like, Ford, who had fired, I think it was something like 400 engineers, kind of on this expectation that AI would be able to do a lot of the jobs that they're doing. And that has now, they hired all 400 engineers back. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that that's going to be a huge kind of issue to these business models that have been developed. I do think that open source is going to pose some sort of a risk. I just don't think that yet any of that has been priced in. And I also don't think that it's been priced in what happens if these companies don't meet kind of the CapEx spend that they have kind of promised in earnings calls. So I think for that one, the jury's kind of out. I don't
Yeah.
think that it's an answer yet, but I mean, I do think that there are some risks there. I just don't think that they've fully kind of materialized to the point where that's been priced in.
Maybe just to finish off, do you have some concrete advice then, without giving obviously financial advice, but to people, how to think about this, because as you said, a lot of it is contingent on these AI trades, and these AI plays. But then again, maybe some people feel like, okay, I'm invested in other markets as well, but then maybe this can pull down my investments as well if that kind of blows up. So how do you advise people to think about this, and potentially also hedge against some of the risks that might come with somewhat of an AI trade unwind?
I think the first is always like know what you own, right? Like understand the business. But I think for hedging without like the need for like complex instruments, I think it's somewhat diversification, right? Like I do think that emerging markets are going to become increasingly interesting. And I think that emerging markets are going to kind of be much more insulated from AI risk in the sense that like usually those company or countries just because of, budget constraints and lack to access of robust capital are going to have they're going to kind of be the last people to enter into this race for AI. And so I think that that means emerging markets are going to be kind of a much more clean indicator of let's say the underlying real economy, right? Like export, manufacturing, industrial production. I think that there is some diversification that should be looked at there specifically. And I'll just name some countries, but specifically in places like Indonesia, Vietnam, Mexico, I think Brazil as well. A lot of those countries are still very intertwined into like what you would call the real economy, much more so than the financialized economy or even let's say in the tech economy. Not saying they don't have tech companies, but obviously it's not going to be like the United States or China. And so I think that those are like a good diversifier. And, as if you believe that commodities are going to continue to do well, and I don't just mean oil, but things that go into, semiconductors, silicone, copper for EVs, lithium, those are the countries that you want to find that have a lot of exposure to those economies or to those commodities. And I do think that those are probably going to be a decent diversifier going forward.